Happy Sunday evening, everybody. Welcome to WrestleScope Live. It is your boy, John. Thank you very much for tuning in this evening. And thanks to our friends over at Fightful Select, we have an update, sort of, kind of, on the MJF AEW situation. Before we get into that, as always, please give a like to this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be updated every time we have a brand new broadcast on here. It is officially day number 75 in a row of live broadcasts here on the channel, and we're still working on getting the Crusher into the WWE Hall of Fame. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in. The great team over at Fightful Select, they came out with an update earlier today, and I'm going to read this verbatim from the update that they sent out. So this is in quotes. In a follow-up to the MJF AEW story, Fightful Select has learned more. Thus far, they have not heard of any outright negotiations between the two sides. They have not heard of a specific contract being offered to MJF or MJF angling for anything in particular. Anything else implying otherwise seems to be conjecture at this point. However, there have been overtures made towards MJF to launch contract talks that MJF has seemingly or hasn't seemed to outright address. There has been no indication of formal talks actually happening to this point, only that MJF continued to be frustrated after the initial heated conversation with Tony Khan. Those that Fightful has spoken to say that MJF doesn't typically speak about his interpersonally backstage, and that Tony Khan plays a lot of stuff like that close to the vest for obvious reasons. However, one talent indicated that Tony Khan claimed to them that he would obviously be willing to pay MJF comparable to other stars. The Fightful Select story continues on. There are plenty of differing opinions within the company on this situation. There were some that Fightful had spoken to that believe MJF outperformed his contracts, and others that believe it sets a bad precedent for the company to rework a deal. It's worth noting that several deals have been reworked, but also have had added time. Fightful Select has also confirmed that from MJF's side of things, the effort isn't to gain more money without an extension because contracts don't work like that, in quotes. Anytime Fightful has reached out to AEW and gained a response on matters like these, they have been told that AEW does not discuss talent contracts publicly. To clear up misconceptions, Fightful Select had not heard of Cody Rhodes reaching out to AEW talent to bring them in, and there has been no report of any kind in the works, contrary to online rumors. So that is everything that Fightful Select had posted before. So basically, we don't have any more information at this point. It doesn't sound like it sounds like AEW has reached out to MJF about contract negotiations, and MJF has not addressed them yet. MJF is not speaking about the situation outside of what he has publicly said. So, he states that he doesn't typically speak about this stuff, but he has been very open, first of all, in the interview he did with Ariel Helwani, and now with different other things he has been working on, other appearances he's made. He has talked about the situation. He even was on Dynamite last week, basically reiterating that, hey, 2024, you never know what could happen. Obviously, Tony Khan is not going to speak openly about this kind of stuff because, again, it would just set a bad precedent, as the story said, on the side of management to be talking about contract negotiations with your talent. I'm still of the belief that this is just a giant work, that MJF is playing all of us as far as wrestling fans, wrestling media, whatever it may be, that he is just doing this to get people to talk about him. And guess what? We're all doing it. Everybody's doing it. It's just like Roman Reigns a week ago when he came out in Trenton, New Jersey, and made the comments in the ring at a live event that he was never coming back there again. What happened? The internet blew up and everybody started speculating, oh my goodness, Roman Reigns is leaving WWE. And then obviously everything happened with the new contract for him and less dates and all this other stuff. This is still just rumor and conjecture at this point in time. Fightful did come out with a very good detailed story here, but realistically, it hasn't really given us any more information. And that's not their fault. That is not Fightful Select's fault. Yeah, I agree with you. Dean and Shadow Wolf, if MJF went over, he most likely would be watered down. But then again, maybe not, because Cody Rhodes has looked strong in his 4 or 5 weeks since he's been back. Will it continue? We'll see. Cody Rhodes would be a huge advocate for MJF and saying, listen, if you're going to come over here, you better make darn sure that they're not going to screw with your character and screw with your booking and everything else. And even though MJF would only be 27, 28 at the time, the guy is smart beyond his years, very smart beyond his years. And with the help of somebody like a Cody Rhodes, he would be well taken care of if this all ends up happening. Now, I find it funny at the very end of the story there that they had to talk about Cody Rhodes reaching out to AEW talent to bring them in. Could that be considered tampering? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's not like WWE management is going out and talking to people. And I'm sure Cody is having conversations with friends that are over there. He's probably talking to them on a regular basis saying how things are. Now, is he actively recruiting? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. That may have been a deal with Vince McMahon was, hey, listen, we want you to help us bring in whoever you can. Let's talk about this talent, that talent, MJF, Wardlow, whoever else. You think they're trying to bring in a new attitude era? It's possible, but realistically, you can't. The way they did things in the attitude era, you can't do that now. Not in the day and age that we're living in, with cancel culture and everybody being offended by everything. You couldn't even do 5% of what WWE did back in the Attitude Era. Yeah, I think, it is going to be a battle for talent. It truly is going to be a battle for talent. And, this is a war that's going on. AEW has picked up people off of the WWE scrap heap. But we're going to see the same, what if, let's say, a Joey Janela or a Stu Grayson or Jack Evans or anybody like that ends up signing with NXT or WWE? Would people call out WWE and say, oh my goodness, they're just picking up the scraps from AEW? No, they wouldn't be saying the same things that they've been saying about AEW picking up, the discards of WWE. It's the nature of the business. If a talent gets released and AEW sees value in them, they're going to pick them up. AEW lets somebody go and they see value in them, you're darn right WWE is going to pick them up. It's just the way the game is played. That's how it works. It's just great. We have to look at it from the perspective of it is great to see that there are more options for wrestlers to go to now. It's not like 5, 6, 7 years ago, or even, immediately after 2001, there weren't a lot of options for wrestlers to go to outside of toiling away at the independent scene. But now You've got two big companies. You've got Impact Wrestling, which is an option. You've got NWA and MLW and New Japan and New Japan Strong. You've got a lot of options out there right now. So it truly is a good thing to see. See, Dean, I'm going to slightly disagree with that point there. AEW is picking up talent and using them better. Okay, some of them they are. But Ruby Soho, yes, she is advanced in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, but they hadn't done much with her since her debut. Toni Storm, we'll see. She's advanced on in the tournament, but what's going to happen to her after that? What about the guys they've brought in? All right, Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews, Malachi Black. Yeah, it's gone relatively well for them, but it's still not that great. So it's really hard to say. Yeah, Swerve and Keith Lee. Keith Lee, it's a tough one because you have to compare main roster to main roster. The only thing they're doing with him right now is the tag team with Swerve. And if it leads to a tag team championship between Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, I'm happy with it. Swerve has been treated pretty well so far. Again, I'll say the same thing. If Swerve and Keith Lee win the tag team titles soon, let's say at Double or Nothing, then I'm going to say, yeah, they're being used much better than they were in WWE. But if they don't, I'm going to begin to question it a little bit. Yeah, they're not using them to their full potential right now. Danielson, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at guys like Danielson, Moxley, Punk. Yeah, they're being used excellently right now. Excuse me. So it's really hard to compare at this point. And honestly, on the WWE side, you can't compare right now because really it's Cody. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage, Shadow Wolf, though, that AEW has no writers? The only guy that's booking anything is Tony Khan. Creative has been left a lot up to the wrestlers themselves, which can be good, but not always so good. Yeah, MLW has a really good working relationship with Lucha and with AAA, which is good for them. So, back to the whole MJF thing, though. Like I said, I still truly believe that this is a work. And I'm going to keep saying it until somebody can prove something other than that. I mean, right now, there is really little to no information. Like I said, the report that I just read here from Fightful Select at the beginning is the most detail we have gotten on anything in the last couple of weeks concerning this. And the detail, there's not much. I mean, there's some there, but not a ton. We're going to have to wait and see. We've still got 22, 23 months until his contract with AEW expires. And a lot can happen in 2 years. A lot can happen in 2 years. So we may look back at this. I may come back and say, hey, back in May of 2022, I was way wrong. I said it was a work and it wasn't. Or I could be sitting here in 2 years' time saying, I told you so. We shall see. It's hard to say at this point. I'm just going with my gut right now. MJF is another flair from the NWA days. In what aspect do you mean? Are you talking talent-wise? Or are you talking contract-wise? Ric Flair didn't do anything like this back then. I mean, he basically got screwed over by early management of WCW and went to WWE. And that's why he took the big gold belt with him, which I saw something very interesting. I don't remember who posted it, that there was actually a different version of the World Heavyweight Championship that Ric Flair used at house shows, that it looked like a variation of the tag team championships, from the 80s and early 90s, that didn't have the ribbon across it and didn't have obviously tag team on it. But, they ended up having to give the big gold back to World Championship Wrestling. And they had to give Flair a belt to walk around with before Royal Rumble. So they created this belt for him and gave it to him. And there are pictures of it online. I saw it. I wish I could remember what account I saw it on. Hold on. I might be able to bring it up here. Might be able to bring it up on Instagram. I think that's where I saw it. I wish I could remember what account it was, though. But, I mean, I was just floored when I saw the picture. And was amazed that I had, as a longtime wrestling fan, I never knew that about that belt. It totally shocked me. Yeah, I am not. Yeah, I'm not finding it right now. Like I said, I wish I could remember what account it was. I saw it this morning, and like I said, I was totally blown away by that picture. If I can find it between now and tomorrow night, I will share that picture tomorrow night. I'm going to have to track this down because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't. But it would definitely be a very cool one to share and for everybody to see. Okay, I'm just going to scroll here real quick, just a little bit more, and see if I can. Wait a second. I think I might remember which account it was. Hold on. Here, I found the account. Let me see if this was it or not. No, shoot, that wasn't it. Okay, yeah, it wasn't. Wait, how am I not following them? I thought I was following these guys. It might have been on. If it was on Twitter, I'm never going to find it. That's a shame because I'd really like I said, I'd really like to be able to show that to you. Yeah, I'm going to give up. I can't seem to find this one tonight. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, Flair had two versions of the belt. He brought the big yellow belt with him, the big gold belt, because he paid a $25,000 deposit on that belt. That's interesting that there was actually three variations of that belt. And yeah, WWE eventually, they changed the one that they finally rolled out after the purchase of WCW. was a different version of that belt. I believe it was actually smaller. It was slightly smaller. Because I remember as a kid thinking how huge that belt was compared to the Winged Eagle, compared to the WWE Championship. It just looked massive compared to it. And then, in recent years, you look at it like, well, it really wasn't that big at all. And maybe I was just comparing it. I might have been comparing it to the NWA Championship, which originally I was not a fan of. I didn't like that belt, but after seeing Nick Aldis with it a couple of years ago, I actually really like that belt. I actually own that belt now. So, all right. Hey, Lucas. All right. I am going to get out of here. It is late for a Sunday night for me. I apologize. I was planning on going on earlier, but I had some stuff going on again tonight, and there really wasn't anything to talk about this afternoon until the news came out from Fightful. And I'm thankful that they came out with that story because I didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight. So I will be back tomorrow, going to do watch along for Raw. Probably going to jump in again at 8 p.m. Central Time. So it'll be the, starting at the beginning of hour 2. We'll do hours 2 and 3 tomorrow night. Has anything been announced for Raw tomorrow night? Have they even announced anything? I don't know. Let's check it out and see if WWE announced anything as far as what's on the card tomorrow night. I don't think they did. Oh, we get the Lashley Omos cage match. And really, that's amazingly, that is the only thing they are pushing right now. Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to see an appearance of the Usos on Raw tomorrow night? To continue on with that whole thing. Yeah, they haven't announced anything else. 3-hour show tomorrow night, and they've announced one match. That's it. My goodness. Well, they've got to do something with Bianca, Becky, and Asuka. You'd have to think, obviously, there's going to be something else going on with the Judgment Day and Finn Balor and AJ Styles. We're probably going to get another continuation of Kevin Owens and Ezekiel. Yeah, I don't know what else. I really don't. We may end up getting something with Lacey Evans tomorrow night. Yeah, obviously we're going to have the continuation of the 24. You know what's going to happen? The first 90 minutes of Raw is going to be really good. And then we're going to get into the whole 24/7 championship, Ezekiel, Kevin Owens, and everything is going to start going south from there. Yes, agreed, Shadow Wolf, that Vince changes his mind 15 times before the show. So that's what will probably happen. So what are we going to get tomorrow night? Who the heck knows? It's probably going to be a lot of the same again. It really is. And honestly, I am not looking forward to this cage match. And the way that they're building this up, are they going to make that the main event? Will they make that the main event of the show? Because that's the only thing they're building Raw on. That's it. I don't know. We'll see. Tune in tomorrow night. I will be live for sure beginning at 8 p.m. Depending on how things go. Maybe I'll be on earlier. I don't know. Maybe I'll jump on earlier. We'll see. But as news comes out tomorrow, I will try jumping on, at least on TikTok. I don't know if the first hour is the stupid hour and then it gets better after that. I think it goes the opposite direction where you get 90 minutes that's good, an hour that is just kind of what, and then the last half hour is decent. You know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Bring back Raw Underground. Bring back Raw Underground, please. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. As always, we will talk to you tomorrow. It will be day 76 in a row tomorrow. And tomorrow night, we're going to have to come up with an idea for what I'm going to do on Friday. I've got one idea. I'm not really thrilled about it. And it's going to be dependent on what time we get back into town. I may find out more tomorrow on how much flexibility I'm going to have to maybe be able to do something from down in Chicago. We'll see. I really don't know at this point. So, all right. Have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Always appreciate it. You guys are the best. I'll talk to you tomorrow.